my love language is acts of service. So if you guys ever want to like come, build something for me, clean my house, help me out,
That's
drive me.
quality time, and this was great.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
read the book. I just read the book on love languages. I didn't read it. I listened to it.
What is yours? Quality time? That's your highest one?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
and the dialect. There's so quality time is the big one, and the dialects you have um, quality conversations, and fuck those. They're just two. I forgot. Mine is quality time, like quality conversations.
That would make sense. I can see that now. Words of affirmations, my last one. Gifts is next last. It's acts of
That's my
service,
second.
and then so acts of service, physical touch, and then quality time.
You haven't
But
read that book, have you, Obi?
words of affirmation, I don't give a shit about.
Are you
Gifts,
familiar with the concepts?
Wait, I've heard them before, but not. I
it's
So
how
can't
you.
recite them.
really in any relationship what resonates with you in terms of it's like people speak different language. There's five different languages. There's act of service, which is basically if people do something for you, like hey, I'm gonna uh, do the dishes, or I'm gonna do the laundry, and then that really like touches you, and that fills
That's me.
your love tank, as the guy says. That's one. Words of affirmation. It's like encouragement and I love you or like stuff like that. Um, third is quality time. So when you can have the undivided attention with your partner, and then you can be in the same room and really enjoy each other's company. Uh,
I think that's mine.
yeah, and fourth is touch. So anything physical, whether it's holding hands or just fucking. From holding hands to fucking.
Yeah.
Those are those are the extremes. And then gifts is basically what this is. It's like if you enjoy that stuff. So it's high resonance with you. And the guy wrote a book back in 2005 that was translated in like 30 something languages all over the world. So it was weird because you would think that different cultures would work differently, but it turned out it's just universal. Those five things are universal. And so the key is in the examples they give, it goes, any relationship starts off over here, way at the top, like you get married, like, oh my God, I can't wait to spend my life with you, blah, 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 blah. And then it starts going downhill because you get comfortable. You're like, I don't need to do all this crap anymore. I don't need to lick pussy anymore. I don't need to hold hands. I don't need to da, da, da. And then you're like, okay, do I really know my partner's love language? And once you find that out, then you act accordingly, and that's supposed to help you get back up. That's the premise of
And you
the.
don't really probably have to take the test, Obi. Like most people, the way that they want to perceive the way they receive their love language is the way that they give it.
Yes.
So I recognize my best friend's love language was words of affirmation because every time I talk to her on the phone, she'll call me, check on me, and she'll say, oh my gosh, Kimberly, everything, I just love you. You're my angel baby. You're so sweet. You're so grateful. I'm so grateful to have you in my life. You're so pretty and you're so loving and you're such a good mom. And I'm like, what the hell? Why is she telling me this every time? When I first was friends with her, she'd tell me all these words. And I just don't, words don't, I told you, words do not, they just, you're pretty, you're this, you're that, you can say you're ugly. And I'd be like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. But if you wash the dishes for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, you must love me so much. Like, you must think I'm hot, right? So I realized, I said one day, is your love language words of affirmation? She's like, how did you know? And I was like, because that's how you show love to me. You're like throwing it all over me every time we speak. So it also teaches you how to be able to give that back to a partner, so that if you are recognizing how they're treating you, it's probably what they're asking for to receive themselves. So if you see that a partner is giving you gifts every now and then that are out of the blue, they're probably a person that would like to receive gifts out of the blue. So
And it starts
I,
young.
I just sent this girl.
luckily for my
Out of
partner,
the
they
blue.
don't have to prop me up and they don't have to buy me stuff. They just have to, do some dishes, maybe like take out the trash. And then the other one, what's the other one? It was quality time was third. What was the other one you said? It's acts of service. And then physical touch.
Physical touch.
Physical touch is so important to me, and I don't mean just sex, but like just physical touch and like having a good energetic connection with somebody makes me feel safe. So that's how mine is. But like I've come
Take
across
yours, man. Take the test.
Yeah,
I think it's
and
quality time. I think Obi's the quality time guy.
I think it's touch. Because every now and then I just grab Bak's butt and I just like, this must be the way.
Well, hold on.
Show
Hold on.
acts
I
of
do
love.
see Obi. Hold on. I do see when Obi sees somebody. Not saying he's going for the crotch or anything, but when Obi sees a girl that he hasn't seen in a while, or he just saw, actually, if he just saw her yesterday, he gives her a huge hug, like picks her up and everything. I've seen that.
I like her when she goes airborne.
Yes, as soon as she goes over, if she goes over his head, and then she spins. Holy shit! There's the girl right there. Yeah. Take that back. I think that might be touch.
Yeah,
but like,
you might run right in those two areas, and especially like if you go up to someone and that's your immediate thought, if you don't go up to someone and go, wow, you look really good first, that's a words of affirmation. So if that's not your first thing, it's like, give me a big hug.
That's not me. For some reason I feel awkward when I speak words.
If you start talking,
yeah.
I'll hold you all
Obi
day.
was so cute, and he started talking.
I'm the kid that goes and
grab me. Stop
I'm
talking.
the kid that goes and punches the girl that I like. I was like,
I told my son that. I said something like, I don't know, I said something. My daughter got some bullshit because Sinjin and I broke up, but like we still live together. We run our business together, and my daughter got some bullshit from some kids that were like, how does that work? That doesn't even make any sense. And we don't live traditionally, right? So she was trying to explain it, and then she just was like, I'm just going to stop. And then she was trying to explain the love language thing too. And like these kids were finally like, yeah, your mom lives like way different than like we understand. But I was trying to explain.
I think this is cute that she thinks she's broken up. You're not broken up.
Well, I think in a sense, like in a deeper sense, like I'm not trying to get too much into my business.
Yeah.
Like we've been, I told you, Obi, I think I told you when we talked last week or whatever. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know who I told. But like we do know what broken up means. Like broken up means you're not planning a future together actively. We're not sexually active together. We're not interacting. That does mean I'm broken up. He's free to go see who he wants. He's not dating anybody, but he's free to do that. And we've been sort of like that for a while because of the circumstances of our life. Me almost dying, him almost dying, me having to save his life. We don't have a regular circumstance. So I get that other people would go, for normal people, that'd be like, huh? But for us,
yeah, and a girl can't be friends. That's not a thing.
Yeah, they don't see that. We haven't slept together. I know this is too much information, in 18 months, a year and a half. So this was coming. The broken up was
when?
The broken up was more public recently, but this has been a longer thing. And Sinjin is 10 years younger than me. We have a different life. So we've been more like roommates for a really long time.
Or it sounded like y'all just like readjusting, like I don't know.
No, we did that. If you were not, I don't know if you remember, but we did where we tried to figure out where we were and we took a break. We did that. And I publicly did that because of the following that I used to have and the show and all of that. So I posted that we had taken a break and that we took that break. We learned who we were. We understood what we were doing and we wanted to be together. And I came back on and was like, that's where we are, because people are always in my business and I don't really care about sharing public stuff because I feel like it's okay. So I explained that we were in that spot. So we've already done that, like, let's assess, let's take a step back, let's try to take a break. We already did that. But when it came down to this move.
I'm still recording, by the way.
Oh, I don't care. I tell people this. I've talked on this on like 4 podcasts because people are very intrigued how this can work and why it works and how we have a positivity and he's got a positive relationship with my children. We just went to Arkansas.
I've seen this a lot with other people too, people that have kind of separated, but for some reason they're still together like daily in each other's lives. And I'm just kind of,
when there's kids
it's like
involved,
a lot recently. I couldn't figure out, I was like, is it because of the pandemic thing that is making more people kind of stick together, or is it
Kids.
or is there something kids
Kids.
maybe kids?
Well,
No, because I know another couple that they don't have kids and they're still
yeah,
together
we don't
too.
have kids.
It's an
We
understanding.
we have
It's a
a life.
mindset.
Yeah, we have a life that
Yeah.
we built over 5 years that was based on a lot of trauma. So my sister died, suicides, I almost died. Like I said, right? We had a combined business. He's been a stepdad to my children. And then he's
Do
also
you,
a
would
caretaker.
would
Like,
you say that you have a little bit of like Nightingale syndrome?
Nine what?
no,
It's
no, I
like
don't have
Nightingale syndrome where you kind of want to take care. It's like you kind of want to take care of your partner, like in like if they're like hurting or something. So you go out and you really try to heal that person, or
so
you
I
fall
don't
in
so
love with like your caretaker, either
that was like
or.
that was like my jam. Okay, like I was like taking baby puppies and boyfriends and I'm gonna fix the things and all that, and then I realized, you need to fix your fucking self. So
Because
that's not.
oh dang, we should have talked about this on the podcast because that's exactly what happened to
I,
Will and
I'm still
Jada.
recording, by the way.
That's
Just
what happened to
post
Will and
content.
Jada Pinkett. That's why she got involved with August Alsina because she
Right.
was like
She
going through
entangled.
some yeah, the
Entanglement.
entanglement.
Oh
But
no.
she really wanted to go and heal somebody. Like that's what was like making her feel all excited. It was like, oh, I get to kind of like nurse this person back to like full health or something. Then she go, but then once he's back to normal, it's like that attraction's gone. It's just like what go fly, be a
So,
butterfly, go out in the world. Like
and I currently have two clients that are in that boat. They needed somebody to need them. They needed to be able to express themselves in those ways, and I work with them currently. For me, Sinjin and I have been together daily for 5 years, other than him going to work at USAA when he started at USAA, and then COVID happened and he came back home. I almost died. I had a deadly situation going on. He was my caretaker. He almost died. He has mental, so like brain trauma things and mental things. So we were both each other's like support systems in those ways. Like we were the sole support in certain ways, not a codependency, more of an interdependency for a while. So when that no longer was needed in that capacity, it was an ability to step back and say, now that I'm not dying, I'm not going to die, and you're getting your shit together. We need to be able to say, I needed to him to be able to say, I actually want to be with you in California on the plan and the life that you've chosen. And I needed to say, I want to be with you and the life that you've chosen. And he doesn't know who he is fully, where
yeah.
he's going to be.
So that's what I'm saying. So do you think like at realizing that you got to that point, do you think what kept y'all together for that amount of time was that mindset of that y'all have to really take care of each other? That's like, and that was the
For us,
driving
trauma was
force.
a part of it. But Sinjin and I love each other. So I'm really close with my ex-husband. I love him deeply. I'm really close with a couple of ex-boyfriends. My kid's dad, I'm
That's
not close with at all, right? But I get along with him, but I'm not close with him. I never really had a deep love for him. With Sinjin, there's a difference because when someone sticks with you, OB with the chronic illness, when someone sticks with you through the most heinous illness that you could deal with, and they stay when other
act of
men, I
service.
know other men would have bounced the fuck out.
Act
Like,
of service.
yeah, acts of service, right? That's my love language. So when someone stays like that, is one of those things like Sinjin chose to do things for me, like I don't know, like
It's kind of
so
like
like
y'all went through like you went through
the way
hellfire.
he puts it is he tells people this. Do you feel like you have to stay because Kim has an illness or you've been there for kids or whatever? Sinjin's like, I don't fucking have to do anything. I stay in the situation because right now this is just where I'm at. Like I'm okay where I'm at. I don't want to date anybody else. I don't want to be anywhere else. Like what I want to do is where I'm at right now. And I wanted Sinjin to have a choice in if he wanted children, if he wanted a different life for himself that he chose before he met me and then I got sick. I wanted all of those things to be available. And what we do in a lot of relationships these days, which I see a lot of people do, is they either go, fuck you, I'm out, or they go, we've been together 5 years. We've got to stick it out. And I'm not doing either one of those. We tried to stick it out. We love each other enough. We have enough commonalities. We have great, amazing things between us, but then there's these other things that don't match up. And it's like, could we live at a better, higher version of ourselves if we were not together and you wanted to go do what you want to do? And then I can do what I want to do and still and live what I need to live, and without being selfish human beings. Yeah. So I think that the nightingale thing probably does resonate with me. I'm a puppy, you know, I like to take in rescue cats and fix all the people and fix all the friends. I'm a fucking life coach for a reason. But at the end of the day, I also have a boundary that I'm not going to sacrifice my life and ask someone else to sacrifice fully who they are. When Sinjin is turning 29, he had a lot of traumas. These are all public. I'm not telling his business. A lot of traumas, a lot of things that happened to him that stalled. And so like I hit a different level. When I was 35, when we met, 34, I was in a different place. But at 39, going into 40, we are not crossing over into the same life parallels as we were when he was 26 and I was 34. And so when
And
you,
then, knowing that, do you think it's like a fair thing to kind of expect to kind of evolve at the exact same time? Like right now, you're at a spot where you're growing and you're kind of reaching this next phase of your life. But what if about with him, if it takes him another 2 years to get to that point, and then y'all match up again?
She's not gonna wait. Isn't that?
Is it? But is that called waiting? If you really, if you actually,
so I did
if
wait.
because if
Sinjin's
you
right here.
because
So he can,
because
I
think
did
about it,
wait.
like if you kind of picture yourself with being with somebody for the rest of your life, is that really waiting? Like if y'all
No,
know that you're eventually gonna y'all both eventually want to get to the exact same spot in
it's a
life.
decision. He talks about that in the book,
Hmm.
the five languages thing. He goes, love is a decision. Like you wake up in the morning and you go, I'm deciding that I love this person and I'll do not necessarily whatever it takes, but without compromising myself to uh, to express that. And that's what you decide. Which honestly, I think it's weird to me because if you grow up and you're always told that, you know, um, you know, love is a feeling. Like if you're not into something, you're not gonna force yourself. Like if you walk into a club and it sucks, the music is horrible, and the drinks are nasty, and you're not gonna stay.
Some
But
people do.
no, some people absolutely do,
Yeah, because
and then
some
you
people
stick
do
it
hit
out.
like that 5 year mark, and they're like, I invested too much time into this, and I
Exactly.
can't give up anymore. I have
Right.
to
Yeah.
ride this out.
No, but I think
With us,
it comes down to how much patience do you have, and also what are you willing to do, what are you willing to sacrifice in order for it to work? Because if it turns out that you're you don't you throw yourself out there and you're like, look, I got to make this work, I got to make this work, and you don't even recognize yourself, and it gets to a point where you're like, that's not me, this is not this I'm totally compromising myself. It's not a good look, and it's not even a good feeling, because you're feeling like it doesn't turn into a decision. It's actually, it feels more like a
obligation.
obligation, and now it loses all the meaning of the relationship, because now you're doing something not because you want to, not because because you want to, but because you feel that you have to. And it's like when someone calls you out on something. So now you're doing it, but you're not doing it because you want to. You're doing it because you don't want to be called out again, right? So something that should have come naturally, that you expected, right? But now it's like, oh shit, if I don't do that, then I'm losing points, or this person's not going to be happy with me, or I'm going to get in trouble. So I'm going to just comply and do it, even if it makes me feel like shit. And so now you're psychologically, you're in a situation where you're like, you feel like you're backed up in a corner because you're trying to do the right thing because you've decided that you want to make this work, but in the back of your mind you're going, do I really? Because if it's that much and I don't even I feel forced, then is it really worth it?
Because I'm because yeah, exactly what you're talking about. Like I feel like it depends on. I've seen this situation happen twice, but I've seen two different people explain it two different way or explain it two different ways. Where I think the best way for me to say this is if I give like an example. Like, say for instance, you're in a relationship and your significant other has a job like just like just a kind of like a basic entry level job, but they're happy with that job. And the other spouse wants them like, hey, why don't you like kind of promote or do like promote yourself or become bigger like
See how
evolve to something bigger in life. Like, do you have any bigger goals that you want to achieve? And the spouse is like, no, I'm comfortable. I like what I'm doing. I want to stay here.
Yeah,
Like,
security.
I don't think anything is wrong with that. So now take that situation.
Mhm.
Now you could look at that either as the either that spouse, that one person may look and say that person's not evolving, or in like I can't be with somebody that's not evolving. Or you can look at it like either I just resent this person. Is it like, and like it's not that they're not evolving. I've grown to like resent them instead of looking at it like it's just. I wonder which one's the truth. Like, is
I
it?
don't think there is an absolute truth. It's a matter of perspective, and it's a matter of choice. Either
everything has a difference.
you accept somebody for who they are, or you go, you know what? I wish you would be more ambitious in your job, and you would actually try to get a raise. And there's a way to approach it.
Yeah,
There's
I think
absolutely a
it's the
way
approach.
to
Yeah.
talk about it without sounding like an asshole, without being condescending, without being like, look, you're fucking up, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what to do. And if you don't follow me, if you don't follow what I'm about to tell you, then you're gonna fuck up, and I'm gonna be out of here. So there's a
But
way
it's
to
also
approach it.
okay to say, I used to think it was okay, and I fell in love with you when and knowing you didn't really have very much ambition, but I've grown as a person, and I now want something else to be the highest version of myself that I need to be, and giving that person an opportunity. If that person says, "I hear you," um, I don't want to take that opportunity. I really like this job, like OB said. I really just like where I am. And it's up to both
So it's
people
just
to
like,
be honest,
okay.
because we have too many people in the world that'll go, the one that likes this job will go, yeah, I can be ambitious, or her maybe. Yeah, I can be who you want me to be. They try so hard to be what that other person wants them to be, and it kills them every single day. They would have been fine with the person that accepted them exactly how they were. We've been taught like
Mhm.
you have to accept your partner exactly how they are. That's true to a certain extent. Now, with our situation, I'll tell you why there's a difference. And that's why I pointed out that my hot shit or whatever was modern love, because it talks about these different types of love. There is no rules in this world that we have to follow any manual about love and how we express it, how we interact. People don't, they still don't understand how I have such a close relationship with my ex-husband. That was like a soulmate type person, or that Sinjin would be okay with it, or that my kids still talk to him. Some people don't get that part, some people do.
Mhm.
With our situation, I want to explain there's differences and nuances to each couple's experience. So Sinjin and I dealt with a lot of trauma, both from outside sources and within ourselves, because of illness within myself, almost dying, him almost dying, some
Is he just
traumatic
sitting on the
mental
couch
things.
right there?
Yeah, he's always a part of these conversations. He has
Oh,
his own, he actually speaks too. And so that's why we can be so open about it. And we actually do our own Facebook Live. I don't know if anybody's ever caught that. We've done our own Facebook Lives where we talk about these topics to other couples. But here's the thing. We had so many traumas that what ended up happening was, in therapy and talking, we got to a point where it wasn't like we have to do this for each other. We don't have the obligation. We get the choice. And if we want to choose each other down the road, say 2 years from now, Obi, like you were saying, it could take 2 years to get on the same path. It's different if you're evolving right? You're evolving at different levels. That's one thing. I was in a marriage for 8 years and then another marriage for 3. And then I stayed with Sinjin. Now I've been with him for 5. I'm not a person that gives up on a person. But at the same time, I look at, did our end destinations or did they change? Where we want our lives to go, did they change along the way? And if they change drastically and you are having to give up so much of yourself to just stay with that person, that's a problematic situation. So if I could guarantee that like someone's probably on a path to evolve, you know, obviously because you were making probably a point that I'm older, so I was evolving at this point in life.
You only have 1 year on me. I don't know why you keep saying you're.
No,
I
older
know
than,
you think.
You have
no,
1 year on me.
No, older than Sinjin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that I said we were evolving differently. So what I mean is that not that I'm evolving at a different stage in my life because of age, we are evolving as time has passed. We have evolved differently. So we met each other. Sinjin was a very formative time in his life, in his mid-20s. And I was already had kids, already owned homes, very different stage in life. When we got together, we thought we would be together for like a couple months just to have fun. We had no idea that we were going to we were not dating to be together, right? But our circumstances kept keeping us together. And the trauma, it's called trauma bonding. That's what I coach in. So people can trauma bond. And then when you're bonded together because of traumas that you're getting each other through, you don't necessarily know if at the end of it, you were supposed to be together or if you just stayed together. So right now, I mean, I'm not looking to date anyone. That is not on my radar. Sinjin's not looking to date anyone. It's not on his radar. I need to move to California. That's where my opportunities, my jobs are. My kid needs to get there for college. That's what I need to do. Sinjin has some stuff here that he needs to go through. He's going through some stuff with his parents that he's got to work out. I've got things with my life that I've got to work out. And what we realized is that we were getting in each other's way. Certain things in our lives were blocking each other's, there's sort of blessings in certain ways.
Yeah.
And then also the last thing I was going to mention is that it's not about giving up on evolution. It's that if you have a trauma that revolves around a person, if it cannot be resolved and they trigger you on that trauma repeatedly, then there's a problem. And in our particular situation, we've talked about it on Facebook Live. I won't go into it and bore you guys. I know you got to go. But we had a particular traumatic experience together, and we trigger each other on that experience quite often. So it will spiral us backwards. And you can go to as much therapy as you want. People will say therapy can cure anything. It can't always. That's not, I mean, I wish that was true, but it just can't always cure every trauma. And so if you're going to be triggered the rest of your life, you make a decision whether you let someone go and you love them to be the highest version of themselves. Because guess what if Sinjin wakes up and he's 35 and he wants to be a dad? I cannot have children. So I can't say, well, I'm going to stick around to find out what he wants and then change my life at that point and give all those years when I could have been doing something else and I was sacrificing periods of my life. Or for him to say, I'm just going to give up on having kids 100%. That works for some people, and that worked for us for a long time. That's worked for us for now. But when the trauma aspect started to come up repeatedly, and Obi, you have the physical side. I don't know if anything triggers you emotionally ever, but I'm a person who gets triggered emotionally by my partner sometimes because of past traumas. And if that happens,
Pandora's box.
Yeah, my body starts to shut down. I have more physical issues. And so I have had very, very healthy remission of my illnesses, no disease in my healthiest relationships. But when I've had triggered relationships, I have chronic illness, chronic issues, and that's just a decision you have to make. So it's that Modern Love show I was telling you guys about. It really talks about all kinds of these things. It just shows you every aspect of everything. Some people do what you say, Obi. They stick in there, what you said about the evolution. They stick in there and they wait for the person to evolve in that 2 years. They wait and it pays off, and they pay off. Then there's some other people that wait and it doesn't pay off, and then they missed out on these opportunities. And then other people live unconventionally and some people traditionally. So I think it's what Bach said. It comes down to a choice.
Back. Not the composer. You get that?
No, I think what y'all do.
I just want to know. I just want to call you Bach. I don't know why.
I'm not the composer.
I think the way you and Sinjin communicate is pretty awesome. Like
Well,
just the openness of it, just like to completely kind of have a clear, open communication about where y'all both are and the mind state.